Hi, this is Brett from the Smart Detox Facebook group, and what today's video is going to be about is about how to wire your sauna or how to deal with an electrician and make sure that you're not getting ripped off. I've seen so many people. I run the largest, for those of you on YouTube, I run the largest sauna detox group in the world. I teach you how to detoxify 7 times faster using niacin. It's a really cool group. You should definitely check it out. Just type in FBL Frank Bill Larry dot uh, well, what is it? It's fbl.me/detox. So frankbilllarry.me/detox. That's how you join the group, get all this great information. So here's how you figure out the electrical. A lot of electricians will try to rip you off. I just had a lady tell me they wanted $1,600 to wire her sauna. It's just preposterous, okay? Just to give you a brief overview, and then we'll get into the details so that I'm going to empower you in this video with knowledge so that you, when you're talking to an electrician, he realizes that you're not ignorant, so he's not going to try to take advantage of you. So I'm going to show you how, in most cases, you should be able to, most areas in the United States at least, and it shouldn't be much more anywhere else if you do the currency exchange, it should be $200 to $300 to wire your sauna, and I'll show you why. And I'll also show you at the end of the video a couple little tricks and tips that you can do, kind of do it yourself if you want to save a little bit of money or some workaround. So you may not even have to wire your sauna. So just so you know, I do have a background, some training in electrical. I'm not a licensed electrician, so this is just my opinion, but I have a ton of knowledge about it. Good friends who are electricians that I've talked to about it. I've dealt with this a lot. So let's start off with the wire. Is the wire very expensive? Well, I can tell you that this is going to be the most common wire right here that they are going to use. And it's 79 cents a foot. And this is going to work for a 2 or 3 person sauna, 120 volt, 240 volt, doesn't really matter. It's going to work just fine for most any sauna. Okay. And it's 79 cents a foot. Well, by the time you go from your breaker, if it's out in the garage, whatever, you can measure this. Like you can measure it and just measure up the wall, the distance, straight line, right? Because you're going a straight line up through the attic, and it's going to be less than 100 feet in most cases. And that's the maximum distance for some of the, you might have to get 10 too if you're going more than 100 feet. But it's going to be about $79 or less in most cases. Okay, so we're just talking materials real quick. So this is why it should only cost $200 to $300. So breakers, how much are breakers? They're about $10. Okay, so we had $79, $10. How much are outlets? About another $10. So there we go. So we're at $100 for materials because that's all they need is they need a breaker, an outlet, and an extra dollar for the little blue remodel box, and you're good. Now, this is the most common sauna that people in my group get. It's Clearlight. It's the only low EMF sauna. They have the patent on it. You can learn more by if you're still considering which sauna to get. You should definitely check out the sauna information guide before you buy one, because most sauna companies lie. Just like electricians lie to take your money. It's no surprise. So they actually have the patent on low EMF saunas. So that's why it's the one I recommend. And group members get a huge discount on the saunas. So you can connect with me on the Facebook group and get a discount and read actual customer reviews of these saunas as well. So what you do is you go to the electrical section for your sauna. And this is the part that you're going to want to take a picture of for your electrician, right? And then you can email it to him or just take a picture of this with your phone, the electrical part right here. And what that tells us is that this is 120 volt and it needs a 20 amp outlet. Okay. So what you can do is you can check your breaker and you can see, well, do I already have a 20 amp breaker in the room? Now, this is supposed to be a dedicated circuit. I will show you a workaround at the end of the video because a 120 volt times 20 amps is 2400 watts. So that's the maximum load that you can put on and this is on a 20 amp breaker, and this is 2250. So you can't have much else on that outlet. But some people, and I'll share that with you in just a minute. I'll show you kind of a workaround that some people have done. I am not making any official recommendations as a Clearlight for Clearlight or Jacuzzi or anything like that. This is just my own personal opinion. So the next, just so you know, this is okay. So we've talked about the materials, right? It's $100 for $79 for the wire, about $10 for the breaker, about $10 for the outlet. So, and $1 for the remodel box. So we're at $100. So what's the process? Is the process super complicated? Like, do they have to like tear down the sheetrock and do all this magic stuff? Nope. All they're doing is they're running an extension cord. I mean, that's a way to look at it. Now, it's slightly different wire. It's not quite as flexible as an extension cord. It's called Romex, but it's just an extension cord. And instead of running it on the floor, they're running it through the attic. Well, is it hard to put it down the walls? No, it's not. In fact, you want to save yourself some money, you can get these two tools. You can do the wiring part yourself. Now, if you're afraid of electrical shock or whatever, you can just run the wire yourself and then just have an electrician come in and make the final connection, which will take them 10 minutes to do. And this is the part that takes up to an hour. So what this is called a fish tape. And what they do is the wire connects here and they just shove it down the wall, an interior wall, and it just shoves the wire right down the wall. That's how they do it. Now, before you shove the wire down the wall, you have to drill a hole in the stud. And so you have to use one of these drill bits. You can pause this video if you're a do-it-yourself person like I am, and you can say, oh, okay, this is what I need, a drill bit like that. Just climb up in the attic, drill a hole in the wall where it's going to go, shove the wire down there, remove the outlet box where you're going to put it, and then you'll see it. And then you put a new outlet box in there or just replace the existing one. Obviously, make sure that you turn the power off and all these things. And only do this if you're a licensed electrician. That's my disclaimer. Anyway, so that's really all they're doing. That's all they're doing is they're simply taking 100 feet of wire, which they get cheaper than this, by the way, and they just run it down the breaker box, which is over here in the garage or wherever it is, and they just run it up through the attic and they run it down the wall and they connect it to the receptacle on one end, which takes 5 or 10 minutes, and they turn off the main breaker, use a little flashlight, and they pop out the breaker and they connect one screw here, the wire to one screw there, and then another on the ground, another on the neutral. That's it. That's it. It's like 5 minutes on the breaker, 10 minutes on the outlet, and 30 minutes on the other. So it's about an hour's worth of labor. Well, we've got an hour, $100 worth of parts, and I don't know what the going rate is. I haven't looked that up, but let's say it's $100 an hour. That means it should be about $200. Now, maybe there's a trip charge or whatever, but it should be between $200 and $300. There's no reason it should be anything other than that, unless you have like a 5-story castle it's made from concrete and you can't go up the walls or whatever. I mean, if you have a very weird situation, but if you have a normal stick-built house with sheetrock and 2x4 construction, that's all they do is they climb up in the attic, they push the wire down the wall, and they make the connection. It is that simple. You can watch other YouTube videos on that. It's that simple. So do not let them fool you. So what do you do? What do you do? You say, well, you get several bids. That's what you do. And the reason you get several bids is so you don't get ripped off. You don't take the first bid. Just say, hey, and what you can do is you can actually, you can actually get an estimate over the phone. You can say, listen, standard 2x4 construction. You can even send them a little video. Say, hey, over here in my house, here's my breaker box. This is how many feet it is. I've got a clean attic. And then this is down the wall where I want the outlet. How much is it going to cost me? I mean, it's that simple. They don't have to come out. I mean, you just send them a quick little video or some pictures. It's that simple. They like to make it complicated and try to gouge people. Some of them do. I mean, there's some good, honest electricians out there. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just tired of people getting ripped off because my goal is to help people, help empower people with their health. That's why I started my site, and empower people financially so they're not getting ripped off. Okay, so $200 to $300. That's how much it should cost. That's it. And now you know why. And now you can call them out on their BS and find somebody else. Another option is you could actually have a handyman run the wire itself. And then you could have the electrician, which, by the way, the handyman technically could do it. I think the homeowner in some states technically has to make the final connection because otherwise you have to be a licensed electrician to make the final connection. But like you can hire a handyman and then he'll just say, okay, here's a screwdriver, tighten the screw, and then that's it. So you can even hire a handyman to do it. A lot of people have done that. So anyway, so those are some options. Now, here's some kind of other options that you can consider. So some people are like, oh, I live in an apartment, or I don't want to have any electrical done or whatever. I already have a 20 amp breaker in my room and I'm getting, say, the Sanctuary 2-person sauna. Here's an interesting option. So let's say you have a 20 amp circuit, but you're like, well, gosh, remember what we talked about earlier is we had 2,400 potential watts. So we can't have more than 150 extra watts. Otherwise, it's going to pop the breaker. So it's technically supposed to be a dedicated circuit. Well, you can make it a dedicated circuit by getting one of these. What is this? This is a remote control shutoff switch. I use these for my Wi-Fi and for like my TV, which has this smart stuff and it's putting off all its EMFs. So what I do is I just have this on my TV and other things, and I just press the button and it completely turns the power off on the devices. So what you can do is, let's say you have this in your living room or your sauna in the bedroom or whatever, and you want to turn off the other circuits, the other things that might be plugged in there, electric blanket, space heater, whatever you've got going on. You can just go press those 4 buttons for the 4 different outlets or 3 different outlets, whatever the case may be, and turn them all off, and then turn your sauna on. Then when you're done with your sauna, you can turn it back on. That way you're creating a dedicated circuit. This is a great idea for people who live in apartments, or aren't going to live in a home for very long, and they don't want to hassle with doing the wiring. Now, if you do that, you've still got the problem of the plug-in not matching. Now, again, this is just my personal opinion based on lots of experience. What you can do, what some people have done, is they've gotten one of these little adapters, and you can copy the link. You can check this out here. You just do a search on Amazon for this. Here's what it is. This is what you want to search for. It sounds real technical, but it's pretty simple. Right here, I highlighted it. You pause the video and you'll see this. But it's an adapter that'll go from the size that the weird looking sauna plug to a normal looking plug. Now, before you do that, you want to make sure of one thing. So the regulations say that you shouldn't have more than 5% voltage loss. Now we know this because we did a search. I happen to know this, but I'm just showing this to you to verify. You can see that 5% is the recommended maximum voltage drop. And so when you look at the voltage drop calculators, and I'll get back to that link in a minute. I know I kind of switched that a little too quickly. The voltage drop calculator shows that with 100 feet of wire, and at 18.75 amps, which is what we're looking at. Now you can put in your specific amps for your sauna on this one right here. So this doesn't have to just be for this sauna, even though it's an awesome sauna, by the way. So you can put in, if it's 240 volts, 210 amps or 15 amps, whatever, you can figure it out and do the math here, and it'll tell you what size wire. Now you can calculate it. And so with this, it tells you, okay, look, we've got a 18.75 amps. And what is our voltage drop percentage? Right here. It's 4.97. Now, I know this sounds complicated, but it's simple. It has to be less than 5, technically, to meet code. Now, I've seen high-end homes that were wired and they didn't meet that. So that's just the recommended maximum voltage drop. But the reality is with 100 feet, this is 12 gauge wire. Now this is the yellow wire. That's the yellow wire. If you turn off the breaker, plug in a stereo to your breaker to your outlet where you're going to put your sauna, and then go flip your breakers until the music shuts off, and then you'll know there's not any electricity in there, and then you can unscrew it from the wall. Of course, only do this if you're a licensed electrician. And then pull it out, and you'll see if the wire's yellow. And if it's on a 20 amp breaker, it's 99.9% chance it's yellow, which is the 12 gauge wire, because that's what the code is. So bottom line is you just want to make sure that it's 100, that your wire is heavy duty enough. So in other words, if you have a huge house and it's way on the other side and you've got 200 or 300 feet, well, you're going to need a little bit bigger wire to do what we're talking about here with this little adapter. So this is what you search for on Amazon. This is a little adapter that takes a 20 amp plug and plugs it into a 15 amp. So that way you don't have to actually get a new receptacle, which is the female plug-in. This is just a nice, handy little adapter. That's what a lot of people have done. But again, you're technically supposed to have a dedicated circuit for these. And so this is how you can create your own dedicated circuit by getting this little product, which is $20, and it will shut off those things for the hour that you're in your sauna each day. Now, you've learned a lot about sauna wiring. Now it's time to join my Facebook group, because you're getting a sauna to detoxify, and you can use niacin and you can detoxify 7 times faster in your sauna. Now, you have to take it a certain amount of time before you get in the sauna. You just don't take niacin and get in the sauna. There's some details that you need to learn. And it's all free. There's no gimmicks or anything. It's all free information. I'm just sharing this to help people, which is why over 10,000 people in the group. And the way you join the group is you simply, in the video below on YouTube here, you'll see it says fbl.me/detox. You just cut and paste that, or just type that in the browser, frankbilllarry.me/detox. That'll take you to our Facebook group, and you'll love it. I mean, we have reviews on saunas, information on detoxification, detox tips, sauna. We have videos in here from this really good looking guy right here. That's me. Okay. I'm not a model. How to optimize your sauna use, all these videos that are really high end content and frankly mediocre in quality in terms of video, but it's really, really good stuff. So that is what you need to know about wiring. Just to summarize, first, please do me a favor. Would you like this video and maybe give me a comment or two below? Tell me what you thought of it, if you thought it was empowering or not. So that way I can know, so that I can help more people in the future. I would really appreciate that. So in summary, it should be $200 to $300 because the materials are $100, and it should take an hour to 2 hours maximum. So that's the deal on electrical. Join my Facebook group, learn a ton about how to make better use of your sauna and detox, and connect with a bunch of other people who are into the same thing as you are, and join our group, Smart Detox, fbl.me/detox. You have to do it now, because I know how YouTube is. What's going to happen is another video is going to pop up, and you say, I'll do it later. It just won't happen. And you'd be like, oh, what was that really cool detox group on Facebook? It's like disappeared. What happened? Like, don't miss out. Do not miss out. Join our group, type it in the browser, fbl.me/detox.